if the Senator Leader Schumer wants to sit down and have a conversation, he knows where I am. We're right here. I see him on the floor. I stand 6 feet away from him. But we are going to give him additional opportunities to vote on this, on keeping it open. Yeah.
Mr. Leader, obviously the whip just mentioned, that you're starting to see cracks in Democrats. Are you having any discussions with members, maybe very quietly, to try to get more Democrats onto your side?
There are some conversations. There are Democrats who are very unhappy with the situation that they're in. Mm-hmm. And what we're saying is that we need, as I think was pointed out here, another 5. We need 8 total. It'd be nice to have a lot more than that. But until there's sort of that critical mass of people who don't want to condone the hostage taking that their leadership has endorsed and deployed, where we probably really aren't going to be ready to have a conversation. But hopefully that'll happen. This is unnecessary, avoidable, and just so uncalled for. And so I hope that we can find a path.
Is your goal to continue to hold these votes to try to peel off additional Democrats, because you got 2 new ones tonight?
Right, and I think there, as I said, there are others out there, I think, who don't want to shut down the government, but are being put in a position by their leadership that ought to make all of them very uncomfortable. So we'll see. I mean, I think that tonight was evidence that there is some movement there, and we'll allow our Democrat colleagues to have additional opportunities to vote on whether or not to keep the government open, or in the case of tomorrow now, probably to open it back up.
I know you said that you're open to working with Democrats on Affordable Care Act subsidies, which do expire at the end of this year and could hurt millions of Americans, but are your counterparts in the House?
Well, that's probably a question for the House.
Have you had conversations this week?
I would rather have you hear directly from him. I think everybody realizes that, and frankly, the Democrats put us in this position. The expiration date was created by them. This was supposed to be COVID-related. These are expanded Obamacare tax credits, and frankly, they're not tax credits really at all. For the most part, they're direct subsidies to insurance companies. So it needs to be reformed. And if there are Democrats out there who will recognize it needs to be reformed and are willing to work with us, I can't take the temperature for the House. But obviously, there are a lot of our colleagues in both the House and Senate who recognize that COVID no longer exists. This program, if we did what the Democrats want to do, which is to extend it permanently, is a $365 billion score. So anything that's going to be done is going to have to be done with significant reforms. And but like I said, we are willing to have that conversation.
So we see now Republicans are plunging America into a shutdown, rejecting bipartisan talks, pushing a partisan bill, and risking America's health care, worst of all. A few moments ago, Republicans once again rejected Democrats' proposals to avoid a shutdown, fix health care premiums, and spare Americans the calamity of skyrocketing through the roof health care costs. Republicans blocked it again, once again. So now 2 times, Republicans have failed to get enough votes to avoid a shutdown. They've got to sit down and negotiate with Democrats to come to a bill that both parties can support. They didn't do that in the past. Their bill, they call it clean, we call it totally partisan. There was no input from Democrats. Not a single line in their bill had input from Democrats. They never consulted us. Thune didn't consult me. Johnson didn't consult Hakeem. And the bottom line is that we had a partisan bill. You don't pass partisan bills, CR. When I was majority leader, we passed 13 of these bills, not one shutdown. You want to know why? It's because we negotiated with them. They didn't. And that's why they have failed now twice. Now, why do we care so much about them negotiating with us? It's not a point of pride. It's because Americans are hurting with higher costs throughout the country. Some of it's tariffs, some of it's energy costs, some of it's food costs. But one of the main reasons, and the one with the most immediate impact on raising Americans' costs, is skyrocketing costs of health care, all done by the Republicans. We have now learned that the premiums for those on ACA, 24 million people, that's a huge number, will go up 114%.